Brain tool number 3. I'm so excited for this. It is really recent research, and it's called counter conditioning. And what it
Oh,
means, and that sounds
mm,
like a
mm.
whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, but here's the brain tool. Reward yourself for exposure to the thing that induces you fear, but with just a picture. Reward yourself to what causes you fear with just a picture. And I'll tell you why, because research found that doing this short circuits the brain's fear response and replaces it and reroutes it towards a reward. And there's a research that was done in 2016 by Kazumi et al. In the Nature of Human Behavior. And what they did was essentially they took an image. They took this photo, and the image basically represented the fear-inducing stimulus that the people in the experiment were exposed to. And they just took a photo of it that didn't have the same resonance, and it only kind of similarly replicated it. And they gave these people over 5 days, they gave them rewards for seeing this stimulus. And in this example, it was a red circle. And day 1, they saw the red circle, they got a reward. Day 2, they saw the red circle, they got a reward. Day 3, by day 5, when they showed the threat stimulus, they showed the image which was threatening, not the red circle, but the actual image itself. And they measured perspiration, skin conductance, and other measurements of stress and fear. The threat and fear response had just dropped through the floor. And these people, all they've been doing is looking at a photo and getting a reward. Crazy. It's so that they called it hacking the brain to overcome fear without exposure to that thing causing the fear. And here's the practical way you can do this. If you're afraid of something, whether that's, let's use spiders as an example. If you're afraid of spiders, what you could do is look at just a photo of a spider, or maybe even a cartoon spider, something that doesn't cause you a massive threat or fear response, and reward yourself for doing that. Eat a piece of chocolate. And if you do this over time, what happens is you rewire your brain's circuit towards reward of that threat stimulus subconsciously without even having to feel afraid. And I'll just quickly give you how I'm doing this personally.
Please.
I told you I was a little bit afraid of posting TikToks. What I've been doing is I've been watching people recently post TikToks and record TikToks. And then after watching that, I just eat a piece of chocolate. And I've found that now when I go to record a TikTok and post it, I have this weird thing where my brain thinks, oh, wow, this is good. I'm probably going to get a piece of chocolate. Like there's this reward response in my brain, and it's making it so much less scary for me, which is crazy.
That's awesome, mate. One thing I'm going to say, mate, one of us has already got diabetes. We don't need 2 of us having diabetes, all right? So, but the premise is very interesting, that whole idea of exposure through a visual and the pairing of reward, which it shows how very clearly, and I'm mindful of conjecture, but there is a lot of research done in the role that dopamine plays within the fear response in the limbic system. So this whole idea of reward and fear being a very clear learned sort of relationship or dichotomy is a really interesting 100%. One. I think that's very, very, very interesting.
So crazy. And if I can say it in one sentence, right, this brain tool is figure out what you're afraid of, look at photos of it or a visual representation that doesn't make you afraid, and give yourself a reward. And doing that over time rewires your brain so you'll be less afraid of it. And you don't even have to do anything.
That's huge.